this is? A goddamn restaurant?
Hey, you, here I come, man. Huh? Lay down, it's time to die.
Hey everybody, what's going on? Juan here, welcome back to the channel, and for this video, I want to talk about a co-op game that I recently beat on the PS4. It's also available on the Xbox One and the PC, and I'm talking about the breakout experience known as A Way Out. Priced at $30, this game is developed from the same people that brought you Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, which came out in 2013. Now, what makes A Way Out a little bit different, and by a little bit, I mean completely different than most other games out there, is that the co-op experience is not optional, it's mandatory. So, step one, if you were to make a strategy guide for this game, if you want to even play the game, you gotta grab yourself a friend. Although, don't worry, because even though it's priced at $30 and it has an average beat time of anywhere between 5 to 7 hours, so it's a relatively short experience, you only need one copy of the game so both people can enjoy the experience. And this is not tied to just local. So say you have a friend from a completely different part of the world that wants to play the game with you, all they gotta do is download the demo on Xbox Live, on PC, or the PlayStation Network. You, as the person that bought the main game, invite them to your game, and both of you can enjoy the entire experience. And regardless of if you're playing local or online, the entire game is played in split screen. So if you're thinking about, well, maybe I'll buy 2 copies so I can have the full screen experience, don't worry about that, because regardless, it's the same visual appearance for A Way Out. In A Way Out, you play as either Vincent Moretti or Leo Caruso. One of these guys has already been in prison, the other one is just going in. They quickly bump into each other through different experiences, and one of them looks at the other guy's ass, and shortly after they realize they gotta team up, because if they want to get out there and they want to get revenge on the people that put them in there in the first place, or that they destroyed their families, they gotta team up. So they eventually do escape, and it's this revenge story of, now that we're out, how do we keep ourselves out here? How do we keep ourselves from being caught? And ultimately, how do we get to the person that we want to, well, do bad things to? And I'll just say this right now. A Way Out is very much a narrative-focused game. So if you only care about the gameplay mechanics in a video game, like a platformer or adventure game, this may not be it for you. It does have a lot of mini games and awesome stuff that I will not spoil in this video because it's part of the entire experience that let you know, oh, there are shooting elements, there are stealth elements into this game, but the main focus of the game is very much the dialogue between the characters and the basic simple movement. Oh, you gotta grab this object. So it's like a Telltale game meets a point and click game meets almost every other genre, because much like real life, it's about the emotions and the situations that these characters go through. So depending on the situation, the gameplay may change, the split screen may change. We may get full screen instead of split screen because they want to make sure that this is what you're keeping your eyes on. And I gotta say that the voice acting and the writing is top notch. And I mean, think about it. The entire premise of the game is that you gotta care about these characters and the situations that they are going through. So if you had dull writing and voice acting, ultimately you just be going through the flow and not really caring about what you're doing all that much. And the contrast between the characters is pretty awesome.
Leo, can I ask you something personal?
Yeah, sure.
How do you and your wife manage to stay together in this line of work?
We've always been together. You know, she knows me better than I know myself. I was 12 when we met at the orphanage.
Orphanage?
You have Vincent, who's the straight-laced businessman, and then you have Leo Caruso, who's the character that I played as during our entire run, and he's the wild man, he's the crazy one, he's the one that you gotta punch people in the face, you gotta yell out loud, screw the stealth stuff, and throughout the game, you actually get to choose. Do you want to go the Vincent route, or do you want to go the Leo route? You know, the passive or the aggressive one. And every now and then, you see situations that are kind of similar, because as human beings, they both get pissed off a lot. I mean, think about the stress that they are going through, once again, without going to any spoilers. But I love that they're not these one-dimensional characters that you tend to see in games like this, where, hey, if you got to go this path, then he's always going to be a good guy. He's never going to do anything controversial. These two guys got to get dirty to get the job done. Nicole and I actually played through the entire game together, and you can check out some Let's Play videos on our Press Pause TV channel, one in English and one in Spanish, so I'll make sure to link to that at the end of this video. But I completely understand why the co-op experience is mandatory. This is very much a hybrid of a TV episode of a movie and a video game rolled into one, except that when you're in a movie, you're not really persuaded. You're not asked to actually speak out loud during a movie. You're very much supposed to stay quiet and enjoy the experience. Whereas with A Way Out, it's like, you gotta talk about this. You gotta pause for a second and be like, well, what are we gonna do? Because maybe I wanna go this route, you wanna go that route, so how do we have that conversation to get to like one path and make sure that we don't regret any of the decisions we make? And say you don't beat this game in one sitting, although you easily could because it's fairly short, but Nicole and I beat this in about 3 to 4 sessions, and every time we would finish playing and just keep talking about it for about an hour. We would wake up the morning after and be like, man, what's going to happen now? Because the game does have 2 endings. And don't worry, because you can easily watch one or the other, because once you complete the game, you can revisit any of the chapters, so you don't have to go back from square one to check out anything you otherwise may have missed. And I can honestly say I've never played a game like A Way Out, because we do have something like the Press Pause Game Club, where it's like a book club for games. You know, we have a group of people that play the same game throughout a month, and we do have conversations about that. But with A Way Out, the entire experience relies on the fact that you're playing the game with somebody else, so you're having the conversation not once you're done playing, you're having it while you're playing, after you're playing, once you finish playing the game. And once we concluded, I was actually very upset. I kept telling Nicole, like, I got a feeling we're reaching the end, and I kind of don't want to get there because I don't think there are any other games out there like this. So if you do know any other games that are kind of like A Way Out, please let us know, because we desperately want to play those, whether it's on stream, for a video, or even just offline. A Way Out is one of the most rich and incredible cooperative experiences that I've ever played, because I think that a lot of co-op games, the second or third player very much feels like the sidekick or the third wheel, where the first one's really getting the job done, and then the other person's like, well, we gotta add co-op, so I guess he's in there and we're gonna bump up the difficulty a little bit. But every little thing about this game is you two are doing this together, and unless you work together and unless you decide where you both want to go, this is not gonna work. And I hope that more games look at something like A Way Out from a controversial developer that we all knew from the whole like F the Oscars thing. This needs to happen more, and I would love to know if you've played A Way Out. What do you think about it? What do you think about the graphics, which I think are pretty good? The mini games that I don't even want to show a lot of them because they are awesome. It's little, side quests almost, if you will, where you're playing this, but take 5 minutes and just play together this cool experience. And hey, I have a challenge for you. If you want to play A Way Out, find a non-gamer friend, somebody that loves television shows or movies, and hand them that second controller, and I guarantee you, after a couple of initial challenges and adjustment periods, they're gonna love this game. And who knows, maybe they're tempted to play some more point and click or adventure games that are kinda but not exactly like A Way Out. So I would love to know, once again, what are your thoughts about this? Please check this game out, whether it's on sale, $30, it's worth the price of admission. It doesn't really have a lot of replayability, and I'll say that, very much once you get to the end, without getting into any spoilers, it's like, okay, so I relived through that, but it's very much a linear experience. So as far as I know, you don't really go off track a lot, so that kind of sucks. But at the same time, I love that I got this linear experience that I will never forget as long as I'm a gamer. So folks, if you love everything that I'm doing in the channel, you can help support me with a huge thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notifications bell so you can be notified as soon as I publish a new video. In this channel, you can check out things related to video games, life, travel, food, anything in between. We got the Press Pause Game Club, which, as I mentioned earlier, it's like a book club, but for games. We played It'll Do 2, we played BioShock, and there's going to be a video coming out about that in the very near future. My life has been very hectic for the past month, so I've not been able to pump out videos as much as I would love to, but I'm going to be doing my best to keep track with everything that I'm doing. I recently put out a video about Raiden 5, a director's cut. Please check that out. It's a different kind of video that I'm thinking about incorporating more into the channel because I'm so packed with work. I think it's like a good plan B to make sure that I don't leave this high and dry. So until next time, thank you for watching and supporting. Follow me on social media, and never forget, folks, that the epic journey continues. Thanks for watching, gang. Take care. Leo is an awesome character. If you're asking me, like, which one do I suggest you play as Leo, and then have somebody else have Vincent. He's the cool guy, but Leo, he's where it's at.